evening, everybody. This is your host, Folk, and welcome back to another episode of the Channel 256 News brought to you by Bitcoin Mining World. The date is September 24th. Bitcoin hovering just above $113,000. Wild day here in the markets, especially over in the traditional finance index funds, which we'll be looking at here in just a moment. Today, topping off, we did get a little bit over 114. It doesn't look like CoinGecko's currently showing that, but we did break the $114,000 level, and we were able to see a little bit of green out of some of the higher level altcoins as well. XRP still up 3%. Dogecoin doing a little bit. Things are starting to take a dip now that a little bit of a dip, I should say, now that futures are opening back up for traditional finance. But like I said, we'll look at that here in just a moment. Bitcoin net hash rate still over 1 zettahash. Nothing really too crazy here moving. Really been a stable coin over the past 2 days. I know we say that just about every day, but not moving whatsoever over there. However, over here on the hash rate index, price per petahash did break back above that $50 per petahash level. That's nice for some of the big miners out there and some of the home miners whose margins may be a little bit smaller with their higher electricity bills. So that's always nice to see. Over here in traditional finance, though, my goodness, we got the Dow Jones down another 0.37%, the S&P down 0.25%, the NASDAQ down a little over 0.25%, and then the big one that we're most worried about, the Russell actually closing down 0.92% and below the 2021 all-time high. Not ideal to see whatsoever. That is not what we're wanting to see out of the markets right now. Really, the main thing that matters is closing Friday, and there can always be a wide range of volatility until then, especially at a pivotal moment like this when we're breaking up literally a 4-year resistance. Like, I don't think you guys understand how important this price level is. Over here, we'll go ahead and skip over to the blockchain backers post. Blockchain backer is a very reputable analyst. He's been in the space for about 6-7 years now, I believe. Just very realistic, very conservative in his views of, like, he's not claiming for Bitcoin to go to 250, 400K. Like, his bet the whole time has been that $130,000, $145,000 range. So here's from him. He actually sold a third of his bag just 2 hours ago. As the market continues to struggle to see Total 2 and the Russell 2000 break out, I have decided to take a defensive play. Now, this is not very normal for him. He's not a day trader whatsoever, long-term holder. His argument behind it is September was a month that he's been looking forward to for quite a while now. As of September 19th, was the date that 95% of his crypto holdings reached long-term capital gains tax status, which is a pretty big deal. That means he's held it at over 95% of his stash for over a year now at this point. So, I mean, it makes sense to take some risk off the table. Recently, he's been calling it the all-time high jitters. You know, the one good thing that we can see out of this is just the fear that markets do not top in fear most of the time. I can't think of a time, at least in the crypto market, literally since I've been alive, that markets have topped during fear. It almost always tops where markets turn euphoric and exciting. His hope is to be able to inject some cash back in to the market if we are able to get that breakout, of course. But it is just something to consider. Maybe taking a little bit off the table could be a nice play for some of you guys. Although I know quite a few of you aren't going to touch anything, as am myself. Let's go back over here to the Cointelegraph. Another cool thing, bullish, bearish, as backers' big arguments is that there's plenty of there. He has arguments for bull case and bear case, so that just to take some profits helps him in his personal situation, which is always respectable when somebody's taking profits. So one good thing, or could be looked at as a bad thing, is the Bitcoin Bollinger Bands are tighter than ever. Is Trader Eyes 107 is a max pain event. Yeah, I mean, if we get below 109, guys, I can almost promise you 107 is not where we're going to stop. it would really signal that this market could be over for this cycle. Now I think you'd have time to probably pull out over the next couple weeks at least 70%, 60-70% of what you're holding currently. I don't think it'd be that fast, and we might even get some sort of reversal, but this could be the reversal that we're currently in right now. I mean, looking over here at the Bitcoin price chart, let's go back to the past year. I mean, we came back up, set a new all-time high. So it's very similar to what happened over here in 2021. I mean, if you do this and then I come back out to the max chart, let's go back to the 1 year in the max, or the 1 year chart from right here, and then let's take a look right here in 2021. I mean, you're essentially looking at the same thing here, but there are a few different other ways. And if you're more interested in the TA stuff, I do recommend going to check out the Blockchain Backers channel. He posted a few videos today that argue both cases for several bull cases and several bear cases. So just keep that in mind. But the Bollinger Bands are tightening. If you don't know what the Bollinger Bands are, honestly, I just say look it up. It's a way that technical analysts, it's a method that TAs use to hopefully accurately predict what's going to be going on. But all it signals is, imagine just two bands and the price chart ranging up between them. But one of the bands, the top band, goes at a downwards direction. You're going to eventually break out of that range, and it's either going to be to the upside or to the downside, but normally with extreme volatility. So I mean, the fact that Bitcoin Bollinger Bands are tighter than ever can be looked at in a couple different ways, either extremely bullish or extremely bearish, depending on what we get out of this guy right here. Over here from Bitcoin Magazine, we got Bitcoin Core versus Bitcoin Knots. This is basically just a Bitcoin Knots hit piece. Just focusing on how Ocean has yet to release the Datum protocol, make it open source, even though they've claimed for it to. That they didn't participate whatsoever with Proto or Brains Pool to create Stratum V2, which basically just helps miners switch from a different pool if the first pool goes down so they can continue hashing. I don't know. I think it's a little bit of a senseless argument, honestly. I like Core because all the ordinals and stuff get more transaction fees, which is good for miners. However, I do understand completely like the people on the not side of the argument that just want to keep Bitcoin, quote unquote, a pure P2P transfer of money. I mean, it just doesn't make the most sense, because they do have the quote unquote like Bitcoin equivalent to smart contracts for like Strike, which is a L2 built on top of Bitcoin, which does not put away, like they accept Lightning transactions in their blocks, but they're not going to accept some meme coins. So there's a couple different ways you can look at it. The claim here is just that like Bitcoin Knots users and Ocean specifically are hypocritical, but the same exact thing can be said about the Core users. Over here, I told you guys we'd take a look at this again a couple of hours after I posted that video yesterday. SBF responded to his own Good Morning post and saying, no, SBF is not posting himself, he is in prison. I'm a friend posting on his behalf. Apparently, we did see the FTT token take a bit of a pump after that. Let's see. Take that back. Got a nice little crash over the past days. But yeah, you did get to see a little something last night when he tweeted out good morning. You saw a little bit of a pump from 82 cents to $1.10. So honestly, it's like a 40% jump. Still ending the day though at minus 10% just from where we're at yesterday, since it was so close to that upload. But just funny to see. If not a surprise that it was somebody else posting from his account. Here's some interesting news. Crypto millionaires surge 40%, led by Bitcoin's rise as market hits $3.3 trillion market cap. Pretty cool that Bitcoin millionaires surged 70% in a year, now totaling 145,000 wallets that hold over $1 million US dollars worth of Bitcoin. 36 crypto billionaires, and for 50 centimillionaires. Highlight rising, concentrated at the top. You're not seeing too many whales unload at these levels. Somewhat surprising in the crypto space. Right now, I literally just saw the tweet from Blockchain Backer before, which really has me thinking the fact that this guy was shaken out right now could be looked at as Max Payne bullish. I mean, that finally the market's capitulating so we can make the next move higher. But we're not going to know anything until we close out on Friday. And Friday's video will be a banger either way. We'll see what goes on. Over here, finish things off today, guys. We got from Be Evolved, the person working on the Satoshi Shovel in coordination with Bitcoin Mining World, is finally open sourced. So I say finally, it would not even released fully yet, but it is now released open source. So if you guys want to go check that out, go to Be Evolved on X. Pretty neat. Like we always do when we finish these things off, let's hit a quick refresh on the Bitcoin price chart and see if we are higher or lower. And we are lower by about 70 bucks. Oh well, like I said, this price action right here doesn't matter. It all depends on how we close out on the week, and not even in Bitcoin. I mean, if the Russell and Total 2 can break out, Total 2 is the entire crypto asset class, excluding Bitcoin, the top 125 coins by market cap, excluding Bitcoin. So I mean, if we can't get this Russell to break back, at least closing, we'd love to see it in like the $2,500 range, which is not much. What's 3%? Getting a 3% gain. Looking at the past month, we had multiple like 2% days. So it's not out of the question whatsoever for us to close in that type of range. But something to consider. Something to consider. Best wishes to everybody out there. I know most people are feeling a lot of fear. Try and keep your head up. Don't make reckless decisions. Do whatever is best for you in the moment. Nobody knows what your situation is like, so don't act on anything besides reason and data within your situation. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and hit that noti bell so you are always notified when we're uploading new content and going live. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will catch you next time. Peace.